Hey everybody, let's go underneath and take a look and see what's going on under here. Hopefully the lighting isn't terrible. And it might be a little bit hard to see stuff. Might be a little bit dirty. The drive went around yesterday. The roads were a little bit wet, so there might be some like fir needles or something like that under here. But straight away underneath, got the Milodon oil pan. You can see all the bolts on the whole engine. It's got a full ARP stud kit. And the front end accessory kit, which you can see way better from the top, but that's from Eddie Motorsports, full serpentine belt system. The new power steering box, that's classic performance. I routed all the cables through the outsides and fender wells, but you can see the starter cables, everything's wrapped in anti-chafe wire loom. Try to make it look factory. The suspension wise, QA1 coilovers all the way around. They are adjustable. These 3 position settings on those. Ceramic coated hooker headers. You can kind of see some of the ceramic coating here underneath the heat shield or heat tape. There's the Tremec TKX 5-speed transmission. Very nice. I believe it's derived from the one they use in the Mustang, stuff like that. But the TKX, it's a smaller case, so you don't have to tear up your trans tunnel to get it to fit into older cars. Got a high torque mini starter there from Butler Performance. As we come back, got the trans mount, aftermarket trans mount, and then that goes into an X pipe. All the exhaust is stainless, so it colors really nice from the heat. The drive shaft, it's a Dynotech. It's from the same place that the transmission's from. I believe Silver State was the name of the company I got that from. We've got a remote oil filter. It's a 2-quart oil filter with a little protective guard around it. That is also from Butler Performance. All the hoses are AN fittings, so no leaks, and they look really great on the car, and got them heat shield wrapped. Oil pressure sensor there's for the Holley Sniper system. Keep coming back, X pipe, and then the hooker cutouts. Those are electric. Got a little key fob. You can also get a button. If you wanted to mount the button type where you just flick it and they open and close. E-brake cable is from Willwood, so the e-brake works great. Continuing back, there's the Dynotech drive shafts. Back to the rear end. Again, let me see if I can get some light on that. Got an Eaton Positrack rear end in it, 355 on the gears. The coilover suspension, again in the rear. And then let's see if we can get a shot. The upper trailing arms for the rear differential, those are adjustable, so you can adjust the angle of the drive train. And then these frame supports here, also QA1 for the A-body GMs. I'm sure I'm just flipping this camera all around, making you guys dizzy. I'm sorry, I'm not a pro at this. The fuel tank, that's from Holley as well. It's an EFI fuel tank. So it's full Holley fuel system on the car. The fuel lines pretty much run in the factory location, which is down the frame rail. Let me make you dizzy a little bit more. So they come down the frame rail, again wrapped in anti-chafe, like wire loom. All new brake lines, so the brake lines are all new as well. Let's see if there's anything else interesting under here. So the undercoating, the undercoat was a two-stage. First stage, or first layer, I guess, is the sound deadener, and then the second coating is the ceramic heat rejection coating. Let's see if I can come over here and give you a better view of the coilovers. There's the adjustment knob. There's, it says 3-position. So I'll climb out and kind of take you around the outside. Okay, back up top. Again, sorry for that camera work down there, man. I think I'd rather weld upside down than try to film under there. So sorry about that. But back up top, we'll kind of go around. Here you've got the hydraulic clutch reservoir. This is the hydraulic clutch here, and then your proportioning valve and the Willwood master cylinder. The power steering box there, you can see it's all AN lines that were custom built. So really clean, no leaks. It's very, very nice setup. Power steering reservoir, and then one-wire alternator setup. Got a radiator overflow, and then this is the circuit breaker for the painless wiring. I want to say it's like a 100 amp circuit breaker that they include. The Holley Sniper distributor there in the back. You can kind of see where all the wires pass through the grommet and the firewall. So all the engine control wires all run through that single grommet. You don't have wires going all over the engine compartment. So when I rewired the car, I wanted to make sure that, you know, the firewall was nice and clean. You know, the original ones, man, they were stamped into like 2 or 3 pieces, and they had spot weld everywhere. It just didn't look good. So when I redid the painless wiring, I don't know if you can see back under here, you can see all the wires tucked underneath the fender. There's a couple pictures. I think they're the last 2 pictures in the auction listings that show with the fenders off, you can see all the wiring on the driver's side running through the fender. And then on the passenger side, you can see all the AC lines that run through the fender to the bulkhead. And you can maybe make out that bulkhead fitting. It's one of the 4 lines going through the bulkhead there underneath the passenger side fender. Yeah, so plenty of data on there about the engine. It's a 467, so it was bored 30 over by Butler. Also, the stroke was increased from 3.75 to 4.25 inch stroke, so that comes out to about a 467 cubic inch. The Edelbrock aluminum heads and the Butler Performance valve covers. The intake is an Edelbrock aluminum as well, and then you can just barely see the Sniper unit there. So again, it does have AC. All the lines run underneath the passenger fender back to the back, so you can't, they're not clogging everything up. The firewall was smoothed, and then there's where the coil pack is mounted. These 2 lines that you can see here, those 2 AN lines, those are coolant lines for the heater. And then down towards the bottom, hopefully we can see, that's where your oil filter would normally go. But again, this has a remote oil filter kit from Butler, so those are AN lines as well. Okay, so around the outside, all this is new on the front end. The grill panel, the header panel, the bumper, I mean, everything is new. And it's surprisingly expensive how much, all these little components add up to. I think I said it in the listing, these are the original plates that were issued to the car when it was purchased new in December of 1967 in Lake Stevens, Washington. I just think that's a really cool little thing about this car, that it still has the original plates. The front, pull the tire off so you can see the Willwood 6-piston brakes on the front. These are huge brakes, but it's a necessary upgrade when you're adding, some power. QA1, again, coilover suspension in the front. I did put, so all this on the trim on the exterior is all new. I did put, there's a body line right here. There's clear protective paint film, or clear PPF, on this lower section just to help keep, rock chips and stuff like that from tearing up the paint. You can see it, the way it, that's the purpose of it, is to, protect it, but there's still that outward edge here that, could still use a little bit of protection. So that clear PPF runs all the way down the length of the car, just to help protect it. See if I can't get some of the metallic in there. I don't know how well, or if this will work. Nah, I don't think that's going to work. I'll kind of show you what I was talking about with that PPF. This is from just driving the car yesterday around the neighborhood, all these fir needles, and this protective or decorative piece, it is there to protect the quarter panel, but you can see how all these little needles get thrown up, and inevitably rocks would too. So I was really glad I put that PPF on there to help protect that paint. Back here in the trunk, hopefully this light isn't messing anything up, but it's pretty standard GMA body trunk. Everything's new. All the metal is new. It's all seam sealed and painted in the Pontiac splatter blue paint. I know it's kind of probably hard to see with the light, but one of the things I would show you is the hinges are, like the front. They're from Eddie Motorsports with the hydraulic hinge. But one of the things that I did was here on the inside of the drip rail, something most people probably never notice, but there's usually a very large seam where these two pieces meet. But that's been metal worked, welded, filled, and it's just one nice continuous piece now. Same up here in this front corner. There's 3 pieces plus a support under here that all come together at that point. So it was just a mess of seam sealer and from the factory, but I took the time and welded that in, body worked that as well. So it's all just, a nice flowing piece of sheet metal. Let's see, I think, most of the stuff on the interior, again, it's all new. New upholstery that's been redone, new window cranks, new door locks, and if you want, there's even new ashtrays in the back. The Holley I showed you guys in one of the previous videos, so that's where the 5-inch Holley screen is. You can, monitor all your data, different data. You can change maps, do any programming that you want to do. Also, the vintage air, AC and heat, still use the factory controls. So that's a really cool thing about the vintage air. Glove box is original, although because the vintage air system mounts behind that, it's much smaller now. So you got that little little space there, but it's available. Probably not a whole lot to see under here, other than you can see the circuit breakers under there. Let me see if I can block this light. That's where the painless wiring, so it's upgraded to, you know, all modern fuses and not the glass types. One question somebody asked about the radio. So it's purely just a Bluetooth module. It's about the size of a deck of playing cards, and it just sits back here under the dash. You connect your phone to it like any Bluetooth, and then it's got its own built-in amplifier and speakers are wired into that. So there's the speaker up here in the dash. There you can see the little GPS module for the sniper, so you get your GPS speed. And then there's one speaker in the back, in the center of the package tray. Doors are, I put it in the listing, all new weather stripping, so they close solid, but you got to kind of mean to close them for sure. One other thing. So I don't know if you can see the wiper mechanisms there. So I put in a rain gear wiper system. So that is what allows you to take the big wiper motor off the firewall, and now it's all internal to the cowl. So you don't see any of that stuff, and it makes for a nice clean installation. So the body, like I've told you guys and all the listening, it's all new. The original parts, the dash metal, that's original. The A-pillar itself, those are original. The actual structure that's under the roof is original, and the divider between the trunk and the passenger compartment, that's original. But everything else is all new sheet metal. Some of the trim is the original trim. These two pieces here are original. This trimmer on the top, that's all new. This is new. The windshield trim, you can see it shows its age. You know, there's some dents in it. This is the original trim. I do have a new set for this that'll go with the car. The wheel moldings, those are new. Or correction, the wheel moldings are original. All the trim that goes down the rocker, that's all new for the entire car. The bumper's new. The taillights are actually the original ones. They've just been cleaned up, and they have a LED insert from, I think it's called Digitails maybe. But really cool. They do sequential blinkers, and you know, much brighter than the original just regular bulbs. Like I said, the bumper, it's new. The lights for the reverse lights are new. Man, you go for one drive. Look at that. Again, on this side, these two pieces, these are the original pieces. The vent windows are also the original vent windows. However, the weather stripping has all been replaced. The weather stripping around the doors. So this weather stripping that's under here, this is all new weather stripping, as well as the piece that goes all the way around the door. Okay. Windshield wipers are new. The blades, as well as the assembly, is all new. What else? I think that's about it, guys. So sorry if this kind of went on for a while, but I just kind of wanted to point out, you know, some of the things that's been done to the car, give you a better idea, better look at it. The vent plate there, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. So that's the one that's under the hood that lists all the options that the car came with. If anybody wants a a better picture of that, I can give it to you and you can decode it. And then here's the internal rooted to the frame. So if anybody else has any questions, just feel free to ask them on the auction site, or any other pictures. I'm going to get a lot of the restoration pictures together and probably drop those into a Google Drive and share the link for that, so you can kind of see some of the work that was done to the car. But don't hesitate to ask if you have any other questions. Thanks.